And if I could just say this, she did not want to do any interviews because she felt, you know, what she did was supposed to be done by everybody. And she didn't understand why there was so much fuss. And she didn't want to do any interviews. However, after I called her and I was like, Aki, will you Mary, please? No, but when I called her and I told her that that story needs to be told, she agreed to come on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Waruguru, who I have been a fan of now. And she's been watching, so we've taken like 20 selfies. And, you know, everyone in the studio has been so excited to have you. And you're wondering, why? Why? Because they say not all superheroes wear capes, and you're a superhero. Thank you so much for coming on to the show.
And thank you for having me.
Mambo.
Mzuri sana.
Uko poa sana?
Niko kabisa.
Hey, Mary, I don't even know where to begin. I think maybe we should start off by people getting to find out who Mary Waruguru actually is. So who is Mary?
Mary is just a simple person who lives a very quiet life. So all this is very new to me. Sometimes it's kind of unsettling, but yeah.
You're sort of you're getting
I'm getting used to it now, yeah. It's only for a week. I know it will be over.
I hope not. Or rather, what you've done, I hope it'll have a ripple effect where people can, you know, start helping others more. Yeah. You have a clinic.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Lekeila Clinic is actually very new. We opened it on the 5th of April. So it's very, very new. We're actually in the process of having it registered. We just had it inspected by the Ministry of Health. And so Lekeila Clinic is actually one of the projects that's being run by Lekeila Africa. It's also a very young organization. It's founded by myself and my fiance. And also we have a few board of directors, and my fiance could not be on the Kenyan group because it's not Kenyan. So I'm actually the one on the ground working on the project. So Lekeila Clinic is just one of the projects that Lekeila Africa is doing. Yeah.
Now you are making money working for the organization, and you quit that to now focus solely on the clinic. What does the clinic deal with really? Is it generally everything, or?
It's just generally outpatient services.
Okay.
And also we have laboratory services as well. And we also offer free physiotherapy services to the people living with disabilities and the elderly in the community of Solai. So that's what it basically does, yeah.
Oh wow. Why did you decide to start the clinic?
I was working before with an organization that I co-founded, and I've worked in rural Kenya, and I've seen the need that is there. And you find that a lot of charity organizations kind of like are focused in the urban areas, and the rural areas are always like left out. So they kind of like miss out on a lot of things. So I decided like maybe I should focus in rural areas because you also like see there are a lot of people who are really struggling out there, and they don't have anyone to take their hand and to like lift them from one point to another. And so that's why my passion is always out in the rural areas.
Okay. So tell us about the day. So because it happened at night, right?
Yes.
So did you go to the clinic then? Did you wake up in the morning? What happened?
The clinic operates 24 hours. So I had come that Wednesday in the morning, actually around noon, because I had left to go home, take a shower, and then come back. So, and then I decided like, you know what, I shouldn't go home. I should just stay over instead of just like making 2 trips back to Nakuru. So I decided to stay over. And then around 7, there was like huge noises, like you could hear the sound of water, but it was so loud. It was actually unsettling, and people were like screaming and running towards an area called Kamkunji. And like, okay, myself, I'm kind of like a bit new in Solai, and so I don't know like so many people. I just know a few people who I work one-on-one with. And so 2 ladies came with children strapped at the back, on their backs, and also their front, and others on their hands. So I was like, what's wrong, what's going on? And they were like, the bus has broke its bunks, so everyone has to actually run. But we're not running, we're having to stay at the clinic. And I said, well, if the dams have broken the bunks, then we need to like go to a safer place.
So hii ni saa ngapi sasa?
That was around saa moja na nusu
Ya usiku.
Okay. So around saa moja na nusu ya usiku wamama wakati walifika wakakataa kutoroka. So wakaingia kwa clinic na watoto, wakaingisha watoto kwa clinic ndani. Wakakaa hapo, wakasema maji ikikuja tutapanda kwa hii counter yako hapa juu. So we didn't think that the impact was so huge. And also myself, I was like, yeah, actually that's true. Tunaweza kusimama hapa juu sisi wote na watoto.
Because you thought it's like, you know, the flooding stories that we see, alafu tu.
So we didn't think. But then tunaambiana, hiyo sauti iko juu sana kushinda hata ile yenye unasikia bahari. That one was too loud. And then like a few minutes later, we could hear like a police siren coming, and it was coming towards the clinic. And I was wondering, oh my God, the doctors had already flown away. Like they had already
so the doctors
fled.
left? Yeah, because they had the water?
The water, yeah. So like when people are coming screaming and going towards Kampunji, via them they went. So they thought I was with them in the car that they got in. So they rang me later and they were like, where are you? Kwani umewacha wapi? And then I told them, niko tu kwa clinic.
And why didn't you run?
But how can you run when you have babies there?
That's
honestly,
true.
Yeah.
Because it's the human instinct.
Yeah, so I just said, you know what, actually, if the water is, because there are 2 dams above us. So I was like, well, we don't know which direction the water is coming from. So kama inakuja kutoka kwa juu, itatupata tu, itatumaliza. Na kama inateremka, bado still itatumaliza. So to me, I was kind of like getting prepared for the worst.
Oh, wow.
But when the police car came, there was a 1-month-old baby who was brought in, and the officer told us that the child was taken from the back of the mother, and the mother was dead. So we were like, what?
A 1-month-old baby?
A 1-month-old baby. So he brought him very quickly, and he was asking for the doctors, and I said, there are no doctors here. Actually, I'm the one left. So we'll just make do with what we have. Whatever thoughts come into your head, share with me and also myself, and just make do with what we have.
And you're not a trained medic?
I'm not a trained medic, but in 2002, after high school, I did a 2-week first aid training with Red Cross back in Naivasha. So I was only doing it for the CV, you know, not for like to ever practice it anywhere.
I think a lot of people did it in high school. You just do it.
Yeah.
St. John's offered it and you did it. So
Yeah,
so that was off of the back of that.
Yeah. So I would say the officer, his name is Nicholas Otoma. He was kind of like challenging my mind to think, to remember things. Because like he's a police officer, so they are like trained in so many things. So he was trying as well to like resuscitate the baby, and eventually like he was saying it's actually not working out. So he gave me the baby, and he said to me, I'm gonna go look for warm water. So I said, okay, you do. So I took the baby and I was rubbing his back and talking to him and praying and like, okay, tears. I was actually crying and pleading with the child not to leave us. And I started like getting rid of all the dirt from his nostrils, the ears, and it was actually very mentally traumatizing to see like such a fragile human being like in your hands, and you don't want like such a life to be lost. And to me, it was very, very touching. And eventually, the child gave a big bap. We washed him and wrapped him with a blanket, and I was like just cuddling him on my chest and like talking to him, encouraging him to live on.
Gosh.
Because at that time we were not like receiving anyone, so we had like ample time to like just work on that.
On the baby.
On the baby.
And then now a lot of
them now started coming in.
And you ended up helping, you know, more than 30 people and helped save their lives.
Yes. And most of them were like babies, kids from around the age of 2 years to 10 years, and most of them were being brought like very unconscious. Others were having foam coming out of their mouth. Others you could see like they're very stiff, and it was actually very saddening. It was shocking to see them in that state, and they were all covered in muck So you have to be very quick to think. So we placed the baby on the bed on one of the examination coach, and just placed him like lying on his tummy, so that he doesn't like choke on whatever things he has. So then the babies, we started cleaning them and wrapping them with blankets. And
you're alone at this point?
At that point, I was alone with the officer. The officer was very good because he stayed with me.
And helped you to take care of everyone else?
Yes. So, but then he was so much concentrating on the child when the other babies were coming.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I need to deal with these ones, because if we don't do it quick enough, then we're going to lose some of them. Because some of them you could see like there was this particular child, he's around the age of 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And you could see like his limbs were getting stiff and he was struggling. His teeth were very, what do you call it, like biting very hard. If you try to like open them, like you could see, no, he's not. And he was struggling to breathe. And so I had to concentrate on that one case, because you could see if I don't do that, it's easy to lose the boy. Yeah.
Wow. Well, well done. And you know, I always say that you're an actual celebrity, because you need to be celebrated for what you've done. And we see a lot of people, you know, and I don't know if you saw, there was a video the other day of a young girl being raped here in town. It was a video that went viral, and everyone kept asking, why was someone recording this video? And we see people who do that fast before they actually help. What do you tell them, because they're watching?
Actually, it's wrong. Even to take a selfie with someone who's in trouble, it's very, very wrong. It's very inhumane. And so for me, like I could see, like even with a tragedy, you could see like some people were taking selfies, kids who are struggling, like even someone who's being swept away. It's actually not right.
All people were taking pictures as people were being swept.
Yeah, some of them. But I don't know if it's the in thing in town, but I actually do not advocate for it. Instead of taking a selfie, because you don't know if that person could be that at that time, but you don't know if you're going to be the next one. That's, you know. Very true. So instead of doing that, you should actually be able to think very fast and do something. You know.
We saw you talking to the president. Did he promise you anything? Is he going to? What is he going to do? What did you talk about?
Actually, I must say I didn't expect to be called out, because what we did on Wednesday, ourselves, we had already moved on and continued with the clinic, even though my doctors, like all of them, resigned. So I had to close the clinic for 3 days.
Wait, they've already resigned?
Yeah, I have new doctors.
So they're closed. It's closed now. The clinic.
No, I have new doctors now from Monday. So I only had to close it for 3 days.
Okay.
And I look for doctors, and at the same time, just spend time with the people who survived at Solai Boys High School.
Yeah.
So I would say I never expected the president to even call me out, or even Governor Mbogwa to say, Governor Liki Yanjui to say anything. I was actually not even in anywhere, like any good state in that at that particular time, because I was meant to go home and freshen up and then come back to the clinic. But I was still in the same state I was like the previous night, so I was like, I need to attend the prayers and then go home at once, you know, instead of having and then come back, you know. And then to hear my name, I was actually running away, not to be seen, but then one of the men like dragged me and was like, where are you going? And I said, I need
it's sort of like how I convinced you to come on the show, because you didn't want.
I know, but to me, I've never received any kind of publicity. So, and also like my life being so quiet, my dad was like, and how did you handle it? Because I know you don't like the limelight, but I had to run away that evening actually. I was glad one of the president's security guards ordered that I be taken home. So I was actually glad I was driven home, you know, and not to have to deal with the media. And yeah, so, but I'm happy I'm here, but there's so many people in Solai that did good that night.
Yes.
It's not only Mary.
Yes, but we want to thank you and them as well on behalf of all the Kenyans who cannot really say thank you to your face, I want to say thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
and
so
we hope
much.
more people can do this, because we see a lot of things that happen every other day. There's always an accident or an incident that takes place and needs you to actually step up and help out. What do you want to be helped with? You have Kenyans now who are watching Mary Waruguru. There are people who are watching in the diaspora. What would you want them to help you with? Is it the clinic? This is when now you can try and implore people to give back.
Actually, myself and my fiance, we've always we're working hard to get ourselves land and have like a community center whereby there's a health clinic and also there's a daycare center for people living with disabilities that can be trained on various skills, because in Solai there is no organization that works with people with disabilities, and there is no organization that helps the elderly. And also, there's a lot of teen pregnancies in Solai.
That's true.
And so to me, I find that very touching and very saddening to see girls, young girls being exploited to a point that they don't actually reach high school. And you find a girl is 14 years and already has 2 kids and is married.
At 14.
And the state they live is actually not right. I think every girl deserves to have a decent education, and because of the state of poverty in the areas, and people who work in Patel, you find they earn an average wage of 270 shillings a day. So you can imagine, are they going to feed themselves? Are they going to take the kids to school?
What are they going to do with that money?
Yeah, you know. So
na venye maisha pia imekuwa expensive.
Yes.
So where do you want people to step in? Do you want them to send money to you, to the organization if it's still open? How can they be able to reach you?
The organization, they can Google Lekela Africa.
Okay.
And also, if anyone wants to partner with us, please do. We're very, very open, and we welcome everyone who want to participate in whatever project, be it education for girls and boys, because even boys don't need to be forgotten. They also need to be enlightened.
Yes.
That they need to have few values and morals, like, and respect girls, you know, and also like respect the fact that even if when they grow up, when they have like daughters, they wouldn't want their daughters to be exploited, so they shouldn't be doing that themselves.
That is true.
Yeah, so.
Thank you so much, Mary.
Thank you
so much as well, because you did not want to get on TV, and I really, really am very thankful that you decided to heed our take, you know, and come on the show and take our call actually, because you are not taking phone calls as well. Thank you so much. Mary Waruguru saved more than 30 people's lives, guys. That's a big deal. But she didn't do it alone. She did it with other people who we also want to say thank you so much through the TV. We need more people like her.